Hey friends, Diana here. Welcome back to session 3 of Get More Clients Now. It's been great. Today is day 3. We're going for 7 days and we're going to talk about getting more clients, strategies and tactics to get more clients. And, I've been often asked lots of questions. Should I be using LinkedIn? How should I be using LinkedIn? Should I be on Instagram? Should I be using Pinterest? And people comment like, well, I've been going to networking and it hasn't working. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Or I've been spending time on social media and I'm not getting any clients from it. And I don't know if any of those things resonate with you. But after last evening, when we talked about the hustle here, maybe some of those things resonated with you. So if you are here on the line tonight, right now, and you found that hustle, being in that hustle was something that you've either been in or you are in, give me a high five out there. Yes, I know it's Friday night and, I'm here with my cup of tea, and a lot of people are doing lots of other things on Friday night, but I really appreciate those of you who are showing up and those of you who are watching the replay. Hey, good to see you there. Give me a high five, thumbs up, give me some hearts so that I know that there are really people out there, and I really appreciate you tonight. So, yes, I'm always asked about marketing. What should I be doing? And the answer that I often give them is, LinkedIn, Facebook, going out networking, whatever. Those are all tactics. Those are all marketing methods. And the first thing that we need is actually a strategy. We need to have a strategy before we go out, and to be quite honest, a lot of people waste their time, money, and energy on tactics before strategy. So that's my goal. And tonight we are going to be looking at the customer journey. And I just thought, I would quickly show this. I don't know if there's anybody on here who did not watch last night or wasn't here, but basically it's about the marketing hustle and, just going all over with no strategy. But what you really need is what I call DNA, or distinctive natural advantage. You have to know why you are the best choice for your clients. And then CRA, you have to know what stage of business you are at. And once you know that, then you can create a master plan or a strategy. Then you pick the marketing tactic that is suitable for each one of these. And you get to know your expert advantage. So I had somebody who emailed me today about, hey, Halifax, welcome aboard. Asked me today about how they would get to work with me about discovering their distinctive natural advantage. And discovering your distinctive natural advantage is a standalone product or service that I have. And basically, I thought I would just quickly explain it. I send you a workbook. You take time to complete the workbook. You send it back. And then we get to spend about anywhere from an hour to 90 minutes together on Zoom. And when you walk away from that session, 1, you will know your content style. Number 2, you will know your DNA type. I've categorized people into 4 different DNA types, and that helps you move forward in your business. And we also draft what I call a marketing message. You could call it a pitch, you could call it a help statement, whatever. We draft one for you if you don't already have one. And that is $297. So that's just one way that I can help you get more clients, is when you know what your DNA type is and you stay in that lane. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how you can get more impact, more influence, and more income, right? So we're going to talk about the customer journey. So in your handout, sorry, I'm just going to flip here. In your handout, I talk about, I've got a 5-step thing. And your customer journey, let me explain it this way. When you understand the journey that your customer takes from when the moment that you engage with them, right through to them becoming a client, when you understand that whole process, that allows you to put together a strategy, and it allows you to know what you need to be doing at each step along the way. The problem I see is that people think that they only address marketing as one part of this. They think, oh, it's just out there. Number one is what I need to be doing. But it's a whole process of bringing that client closer and closer to you. So let me explain the customer journey. The first part of the customer journey, like I said earlier, is that your ideal, your dream customer could be what I call a suspect. They're out there in the pool somewhere, and you might suspect that they were going to be a good client for you, and they might suspect that they might want to work with you. And so you need to, what I call, capture and captivate their attention. So the first step is, I call it captivate. A lot of people will call it attract, magnetize, whatever, but it's more than that. Yes, you have to get their attention, but you also have to, because of step number 2, you have to get their information. And so this tends to be, you want to get their email, you want to have them in a Facebook group, you want to do something with them. So the first part of your marketing strategy is all about captivating. So captivating, how do you captivate? And depending on what stage of business growth you're at, captivating can mean a whole bunch of different things. It could mean that you have a lead magnet. It could mean you're doing a series of Facebook Lives like this. It could mean that you're getting people's business cards when you're going out networking. It could mean, if you're at a different stage, you could be going out speaking and getting leads and turning these people into customers. So captivating, it's kind of like the beginning of a relationship or dating. I don't know if you guys can remember back when you first started dating and, you do a little flirt. Well, that's what captivating is like. It's about that first part of flirting with them, to get their attention across the room. So you're going to flirt a little, because the next part is what I call cultivate. Nurture, whoops, if I could spell. Well, there's an R in there. So you've got their attention. And the next part is you've got to be nurturing them along. You've got to be cultivating them, just like a seed, just like a relationship, because they're not going to buy. Typically, they're not going to buy from you immediately. They need to get to know, like, and trust you. How many of you have heard about that? Know, like, and trust. Give me a high five if you have. They need to get to know, like, and trust. And so, I don't know, I'd like you to type in the comments below here, what are some ways that you could build trust with your potential client? What are some ways that you could cultivate the relationship and build trust? I'm going to wait for some comments here. I know you all know at least one way. Da, da, da. I need the music. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. I'm not getting any feedback, but maybe it's just because I need to refresh. Excuse me. Hey guys. Yeah, I'm not getting anything at all here. So I'm wondering if you can see me. Oh, Dale commented apparently. I've got this live on both my computer and my phone. So let me see if I can, here we are. Okay, I'm getting the, all right, Dale says, invite them to coffee and get to know them better. That's one good way. What else could we have? What else could you do to move that relationship along? Well, how about being present consistently on social media? How about posting testimonials from your clients? How about consistently writing a blog? All of these things are building that know, like, and trust with your clients. So Dale, for instance, let's say, invite them to coffee and get to know them better. When networking offers useful and relevant, yeah. When you're inviting them to coffee and get to know them better, is this somebody, my question is this somebody that you suspect might be, a good fit for you, or are you just kind of randomly asking them out for coffee? Actually, I don't do coffee dates. I only do them virtually. And I know that's kind of, maybe against the grain for some people, but the truth is I live kind of out in the country. And even those people in the cities, for Pete's sakes, if you're traveling across Toronto for coffee dates, that's a lot of traveling. So Colleen says, when networking, offer useful and relevant information freely. Yeah, one of the things that I recommend is, on your business card, there's a front and a back. If you have a really great lead magnet, put the link to your lead magnet on the back of your business card. That way you're driving these potential clients to your website. And it is a way of capturing that information. And so that's what you want to do. You want to keep driving them to your website all the time. So think of that. Yeah, good. All right, so cultivating. And very often people are focused on the captivating, but not on the cultivating. And when it comes to cultivating, the word is going to be consistent. Consistent, consistent, consistent. Consistent action gives you consistent results. Third, number 3 is convert. Okay, so you're going to start your dating relationship. You're going to go out on a few dates, and then maybe he's going to ask you to marry him. It's the same kind of thing. You've got to actually ask people to become clients. And converting is that. And we're going to get into this a little more. Number 4 in the journey with you is now they're clients, and so you need to delight them. You need to delight them. You need to wow them. You need to make sure they get the results that you've talked about up there. Okay? Why? Because what do you want? You want testimonials from these guys. And testimonials is another great way to cultivate them. They build that know, like, and trust. And they also maybe will buy again from you. And step number 5 is what I call follow-up. Okay? And I've put stars beside these because really I can't help you do this. That's not what I do. I help you do this with a little bit of this. Follow up, you've heard the thing, fortune is in the follow up. How often do you follow up? People say, when do I stop following up? You only stop following up when somebody says, please don't follow up with me anymore. Okay? But yeah. So the 3 steps that I want to focus on are, for our purposes, are these 3 steps here. And as I said, you need all of these in your master plan, in your marketing. You need to know what you're going to do every single time. And when I'm working with clients, for instance, we have this content creation boot camp coming up. Content creation boot camp. People are always asking me, how do I create content? I don't know what to create. I don't know when to do it, where to do it. That's what we're going to do during those 2 days. But cultivating is where people often forget and they often fall down. Converting is the third step. Okay, let's move on to this funny looking diagram that you have here. Okay, kind of see it. Well, kind of drew it here. Does everybody see this? Is everybody good? I seem to have quite a bit of a delay tonight in what's going on. Yeah, I see it on my computer, so it must be that you can see it. High fives? Yes? Who's following along? Who's following along? Cool. All right. So we've talked about the journey, but in the journey, there are 3 elements that you need to have. So we've got the 3 steps, but in each of those steps, there's going to be elements that are really important parts of your master plan. So the first one, it says a clear message. And you're going to see how this, a little later, I'm going to show you how this all comes together. So you're probably thinking, she's jumping all over the place. Well, I'm trying to give you the big picture and then we're coming down. Okay, so you need a clear message. And a clear message, how many of you think you have a clear message? Hands up. How many of you think you don't have a clear message? Yeah, clear message is really, really hard. It's really hard. Basically, a clear message is explaining what you do, right? So one of the things that maybe I'm going to ask you to do here is, what is your infomercial? What's your 30-second? Or if you have a help statement, why don't you type it in the comments here so that, who knows, perhaps watching is one of your ideal clients. Who knows? So I'm going to ask you to type that in. So your message, it needs to explain what you do. It needs to be an essential part of your brand, right? And what happens when it's wrong? What happens when your message is fuzzy? What happens when your message doesn't have the right language? I know some of you know what that feels like. It feels kind of crappy, right? I've often told the story of, I remember several years ago when I was first starting my coaching and I went to a BNI networking breakfast. I was actually the president there. So every week I would have to stand up and, give my infomercial. And I stressed about it every week because I was getting nothing, nada, crickets. I wasn't getting any response. And finally one day I kind of went, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with not getting a response from my infomercial. And so I hired somebody to help me with it. Went back a few weeks later, said a brand new infomercial, actually almost sort of rebranding. And that time somebody actually 2 people came up to me afterwards, gave me their business cards and said, Diana, I think I'd like to take this conversation a little further. That's what should be happening when you say your infomercial. People should lean in. They should be curious, right? Top 3 mistakes. top 3 mistakes when it comes to infomercials. It's longer than 15 seconds. You need to get your infomercial or your help statement, your answer to, so what do? You need to get it down to maybe 8 seconds or 15 seconds at the most. People's attention spans are like nits, right? They're like minuscule. So if it takes too long, people tune out. I know many of you have gone to networking and you are talking to someone, and either it has happened to you when someone goes blah, 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 and you're already looking over in the corner going, oh, I think I'm going to go over there and talk to someone, right? So just imagine what it's like for them. The second mistake that people often make when it comes to a message is that they speak in expert speak. So what do I mean by expert speak? Now, Maggie, this is not for you. It's not directed towards you. It's kind of like going to the doctor, and the doctor starts talking in words that are this long and tells you that you need to do this, and his treatment plan is, and you go, all you want to say is, would you please speak English to me? Right? Well, the problem is we're all experts at what we do. We are. And it's very often that we think we are being very clear to our clients, but they're kind of scratching their head going, huh? So we have to break down our language. There's a really great book out there called Lingo. I want to say Jeffrey Shaw is the author. And he talks about how we need to speak in a language that our customer actually understands. It needs to be... for some reason, I'm not getting any comments. I see that people are making comments, but I don't see them. Sorry about that, guys. We need to speak kind of at the level of, I believe it's like a 12-year-old, or a 7-year-old. We can't be speaking in language that's up here. We have to be talking at a language level that people understand. If you're an energy worker, we can't be talking about, how the energy and this and that, because most people won't understand it. Or it's like if somebody is talking about doing EFT. Oh, I have this great thing and it's called EFT and da-da-da-da-da. Most people will look at you and go, you're going to do what? Right? All people want to know is what results you're going to get for them and what problem you're going to solve. Okay? So that's what's really, really important to you. So that's number 2. We tend to speak in our expert speak language. I'm going to try to redo this again. And number 3 is that we sound like everybody else. Big mistake. We sound like everybody else. So I know that you've gone to networking events and you meet, I'm going to pick on them, real estate agents. Hi, I'm a real estate agent. Okay. Hi, I'm a financial advisor. Hi, I'm a life coach. Hi, I'm a relationship coach. To me, when you introduce yourself with a title like that, all you're doing is putting yourself in a box with all the other real estate agents, with all the other financial advisors, with all the other life coaches, with all the other, right? And it doesn't give people a chance to know about you and what makes you different and why they should be hiring you. So try to come up with something that will help you distinguish yourself from other people. And sorry, I'm just trying to reboot this so I can see some of the comments. Okay. Oh. I know they're there. I know Maggie commented, but I don't even see the comment. Huh. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So 3 top mistakes. When people ask you, so what do? You take too long, you talk in expert speak, perhaps you sound like everybody else and you don't answer the question that's in the back of their mind, why should I hire you? So here's something I'd like you to do. We're going to use what I call the traffic light. So a traffic light, red, yellow, green. Red is stop, yellow is, caution, and green is go. So if you think your message is really strong and really great, you get people to lean in all the time, then rate yourself green. Okay? So green. If you think your message is so-so, then give yourself a yellow. And if you really are having trouble and you're struggling with your message, and you are frustrated, you're not getting any reaction, then give yourself a red. And can you comment below? Let's see if we can get some comments here about what they are. Red, yellow, and green, right? Green, you're good to go. Red, you're kind of struggling. And yellow, you're so-so. How are we doing on our... Okay. So who's got... Are you there, guys? I'm not seeing anything, but that could be my computer. How are we doing? How do you rate yourself on your clear message? Maggie commented. Okay. Dale commented. I'm going to try this again. I can see that you've commented. Really bizarre. Dale, between yellow and green, the latest one seems to be working. Good. Maggie, I don't seem to see your comments at all. But okay. So most people, when I ask them this, their comments, they tend to be somewhere red or yellow. And you will notice on the outside of see the gray around the outside? Okay, so there's 3 gray areas around each one. And I just want to explain those a little. So it says they're divided like this. So your clear message is impacted by a couple of things. One is your DNA, right? We talked about that last night. The other is really being clear about what is the one problem you solve, right? And then is what makes you different or your expert advantage. Okay, so your DNA, your one problem that you solve, and your expert advantage. Yellowish. Cool, that's Mira. She says, she's written out hers. Thank you so much. I help women who are tired and frustrated by chronic pain find the root cause so they have less pain, more energy, and vitality to enjoy the things that they love. Cool. Okay. Anybody else want to take a stab at theirs? So, Mira, are people leaning in? That would be my question. Are people curious about how you might do it? What kinds of questions do they ask after that? Seems to me we also talked about adding something in there without prescriptions, right? but sometimes it can get too long. Okay. So this here is when you get all three of these correct, what we're going to talk about. We're only going to talk about this one tonight because we're already at 8:30. And really what I want to spend tomorrow night on is this one over here, and then the next night on this one. So if you want to put your help statement or infomercial in the comments here, let's see if we can't get some feedback and help some people. But when you get all three of these right in here, this is when you're going to be actually getting more clients now. Okay? When you get this one and this one, so I'll just tell you, this is about your offer. When you get those two right, that is about capturing. This is how you capture. So tomorrow night we're going to talk about your compelling offer. And when those two sync up, that's about capturing. Okay. Anybody else written? No, I don't see any more comments. Sorry. Okay. Here's a question, and maybe those of you who I can see your comments can answer. Would you prefer to do this on Zoom as opposed to Facebook Live? You can make a comment later. I'll ask the question later. It seemed to be working okay the other night, but we seem to be having a few issues tonight. Would Zoom be better for you, guys? Colleen, green. Okay, Colleen says, I lead individuals and organizations on a path to discover that they are meant for more. Cool. Hi, Maggie. Yes, I finally got that one. Okay, I'm reading Colleen's. Meant for more than they ever dreamed possible. Use the power of significance to improve productivity, mental health, and connection by instilling... Whoa, that's a lot of words, Colleen. And if you say green, I'm guessing you're getting good feedback from it. I just find that it's a lot of words and I kind of get lost. So if I met you at a networking and said, hi, Colleen, and we chit-chatted a little bit, we found something in common, and I said, so what do you do? And you said all of that. By the time you said meant for more than they ever dreamed possible, I would go, okay, that would be enough. Because by the time you're saying that, the rest of it, I'm already moving on. That's just my personal feedback, but I'd be really curious to hear what kind of feedback you're getting. Use the power of significance. I don't know what that means. To improve productivity, mental health, and connection by instilling meaning in who they are and what they do. I still don't know what that means. And that's okay. That's just my personal feedback. If you're getting great feedback, I'm thrilled to bits. I usually say, okay, the first sentence and stop, and they're meant for more. Cool. My good friend Steve Lowell, who you might know, one of his sayings comes to mind. And one of his sayings is... that's kind of out in the ether somewhere. And he means it's kind of like, how do you measure the power of significance? What does that really mean? And so I just ask you that. I'm playing devil's advocate. Dale says, I've started by saying, so you know how some people can be difficult to deal with? And they usually respond, yeah. Then I respond, well, I help you fix that problem. Actually, Dale, starting out by that is a really great way. Starting out with, so you know how some people can be, or do you know how it's difficult to, or you know how whatever, that is a great way to start an introduction. Because yes, you usually get them to answer, and then you respond, well, I help you fix that problem. You say, you know how some people can be difficult to deal with, I help you fix it. A couple of things that I would say, Dale, is first of all, people is very generic. Hey, there's Sherry Crummy. People is a very generic term, and you want people in your introduction to self-identify. So, for instance, Colleen says individuals and organizations. At least I know, okay, she deals with both, I'm guessing, individuals and corporations. You know, I might say something like, I help establish business owners. I help establish small business owners, or I help business owners. And people know that, oh, if they're a business owner, they go, yeah, that's me. And then they'll listen. If they're not, then they've already qualified themselves. So if you can figure out who and use some sort of term in there other than people, it might be, you know, when you say people, it could be, I help moms with difficult teenagers. You know, that would be a very different than teams and corporations, right? Very different, but that comes under the qualifications of people. Anybody else? I say clients, coworkers. Okay, cool. Coworkers. I love coworkers. That's a great one. That's a great one. So you know how some coworkers can be difficult to deal with. There we are. That makes it so much more precise. So much more precise. Sorry, anybody else here? Maggie's there listening. Okay. Anybody else want to randomly throw their hat in the arena tonight? Anybody else have some feedback on these other messages? This is one of the hardest things to do. And I don't believe we ever get it perfect. It's always a work in progress. This year when I sort of pivoted my business a little bit, I went and hired somebody to help me with it because it was too difficult to do on my own. It's not something I can do it for others because I'm objective, I'm standing back, but it's really hard to do it for yourself. Cool. Okay. We're not going to go to the full hour tonight. We are Friday night, and I want to thank you so much for showing up. Tomorrow at lunchtime, we are going to meet, and we are going to talk about compelling offer and 3 top mistakes that people make, and what elements that you need around your compelling offer to make it really sizzling and juicy so that your prospect wants to buy from you. So does anybody else have any comments, queries, feedback? Okay, here's one, Maggie. Good for you. Thank you so much. So you know how you get shuffled out of the doctor's office before you understand and you don't know what they mean? Did you ever get told that eat less, move more? Well, I give you a roadmap for that. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can't. Yes, Dale, 9 a.m. Cool. So you know how you get shuffled out of the office. So I'm guessing that people go to the doctor's office and are told to lose weight. I'm guessing that's what it is. I might say something like, so have you ever been to the, or do you know anybody, this is another way of doing it, do you know anybody that's ever gone to the doctor's office and they've been told they have to, lose some weight and they have to get more active? And then they kind of dismiss you and shuffle you out? Well, what I do is I actually give you a roadmap for that. How would that work? Hopefully that is helpful for you. Yeah. Cool. Very good. Well, thanks everybody for participating this evening, and I really appreciate it. Great fun. I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow at noon Eastern time. For those of you in Halifax, it's a little different. For those of you out west, it's a little different again, but I really appreciate. Thank you so much for coming on board, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for session number 4. Go out and have a great glass of wine or whatever it is that you're going to do this evening. Take care. Bye for now.